Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes. I'm your host, Logan, back here in the basement with Scotty Scoop, the Giggler, St. Louis, Missouri, talking about superhero stuff. This is Mostly Superheroes after all, and it's time for the meat, the chunk, the sizzle. It's why you showed up, and it's definitely why I showed up this week. Even had to record 2 days early. Listener, if you're paying attention, we're not on Wednesday, we're on Monday. We figured a big Monday to Monday release might make sense for you guys. So when we're recording, we're also hearing our fresh episodes. No, don't forget new episodes on Sunday for Patreon patrons. This week, movie came out. Marvel Cinematic Universe is just letting out titles like nobody's business. The calendar is full. If you listen to the episodes each and every week of Mostly Superheroes, you know this. It keeps happening, and there's usually something to talk about, from a TV show to a movie and to a big, epic origin story movie just like this. It's Eternals. We're going to break it wide open and tell you all about it. Let's do it. First up on the screen, a little background on the film before we get into the weeds on this one. Got to give a shout out to the poster that we're using for today's episode. It's from Reddit, from a user called Junior_Neves. That's Junior_Neves. This is his poster, and it was the best poster I could find on the internet. Pretty good, huh?
Professional.
Amazing.
Very nice. There's a lot of, like, the Eternals has a lot of, I always say the Eternals too. It's Eternals. Has a lot of characters. It's hard to find a poster that you can fit them all in there. Look really nice. This was very, very well done. And a little bit about the film from Marvel.com. Marvel Studios' Eternals features an exciting new team of superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, ancient aliens who have been living on Earth in secret for thousands of years. Following the events of Avengers Endgame, an unexpected tragedy forces them out of the shadows to reunite against mankind's most ancient enemy, the Deviants. Directed by Chloe Zhao, this has an all-star cast. Angelina Jolie, Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, Lauren Ridloff, Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek, Leah McHugh, Don Lee, and Kit Harington. This came out on November 5th, 2021, and we just saw it Friday, November 5th. We saw it the day it came out.
Yep.
That's the official release, but it also they always say the
drops on Thursdays.
Oh, yeah. There was even a Wednesday showing at Brownies.
What's up with these? It's like they almost just lie about the release date. It's kind of like Cars. We're like, this is the 2023 model. But you're like, how? It's one of those things. Either
Makes
way,
sense.
It's doing okay out there. Just to get the budget out of the way, this thing had $200 million to play with, and so far, opening weekend, $71 million. For comparison, Venom 2 did $90 million, Black Widow did $80 million, and Shang-Chi did $75 million, so it's doing just fine.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, gut checks, and the story, of course, we're going to talk about it all. We saw this at Ronnie's, Marcus Theaters, in the IMAX, Scotty Scoop, your lady Shanna, Andy, Steph, me, and Carrie, 3 kings. We were in and out.
Oh, yeah.
We did a pretty good job. You got the appetizers, the beers, good times, right? Little happy hour before the movie. And I guess we just didn't quite hurry enough.
What the hell?
Because we missed. I say we missed. I'm a little peeved.
I'm with you.
This was one of the first, I say this was the first time, actually, that I got to a movie just, 5 minutes late past the showing time. No previews.
Not a single preview.
Not one preview.
Stupid.
What happened?
People count on that.
Yeah. Because you've been doing it like it forever. I don't even know if they did like the IMAX countdown.
No.
I walked in and the movie was on.
Yep.
I saw Angelina Jolie on screen and I was in panic.
Yeah.
I was sweating.
Full panic.
And turns out we figured it out, right? Spoiler alert for the film. The only thing we missed was the opening reel.
Yeah.
Yes. So we found
First time they've ever done that.
Yeah, right. First time they ever did like a Star Wars-esque opening reel in the beginning, a little backstory. Before we get there, Scotty, a person that has been reading comics forever, you weren't that familiar even with these characters, and you kind of went in fresh. How did this fresh watch of a new movie, Eternals, go for you?
I think it went pretty well. I'm not super high on the movie, but I had a good time. I didn't go in as I usually do with a lot of preconceived notions of who characters are and how they should be from the translation from comic to screen. So I didn't have a lot of expectations.
Mm-hmm. So level felt pretty good. Can't wait to talk about the details with it and eventually get that rating. Giggler, a fresh take from you. How'd it go?
Man, this movie was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I love the characters. I think it just missed a little bit on the execution overall with how the story kind of flows together.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I mean, I don't think they didn't miss a beat from the rest of the Marvel movies. I loved it.
Hell yeah. I'm right there with you. I loved it as well. It was a lot of fun. It was beautiful. It was a new take on Marvel films, a whole new tone, whole new characters, and it's basically how I've gone into every movie. I didn't have the knowledge that you have, Scotty, even going into movies like Thor.
Right.
So this felt a little familiar for me, just that fresh new MCU flick feeling. But I'll tell you right now, this is a different format.
Yeah, 100%.
Little different formula happening here. And let's talk about it, guys. Brand new story. And this one's interesting to break down. Again, we never try to do scene by scene, but we want to get the story, what's happening, and who are we talking about. Let's meet the Eternals. First of all, I got a nice poster here. By poster, I mean it's like an 8x10 piece of paper. But we got this from the movie theater, Marcus Theaters. Thank you, guys. I don't know if you scanned yours, Scotty, because I know you got.
No, I didn't.
If you scan this fancy QR code, it's a pretty cool little augmented reality thing on your phone.
All right.
Whoa.
So give it a check out. But thanks to Marcus Theaters for a great time. They always kill it at the movies. Eternals, man, let's meet them. So this thing opens up right with a pretty much an explanation reel. It's basically opened up with in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read it verbatim, but essentially celestial beings created the universe and the first light. And part of that creation were aliens that the celestial beings called Eternals. And the Eternals were essentially created to fight off these evil folks out there called deviants. Deviants are creatures that pretty much bring terror all over the universe. And how many did Eternals were made? Did they say like in the hundreds?
I don't know.
remember
I don't think we
seeing
know.
that.
It's part of it. It's part of it
Is
in
it?
the beginning of like it's like we're basically getting the Eternals on Earth. You know, we got these 5 characters. And apparently they send them out. Didn't you say this, Scotty? In groups of 10.
Groups of 10, and I think it's pretty much on any planet worth going to.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, how do they
that had life.
if there's life, if there's intelligent life on the planet, there's a decent chance that deviants will come
Yeah.
try to mess you up, and that Eternals will come up and shut it down.
Right.
That's the general idea. They also work in the shadows, and they are from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
They are from Celestials from the very beginning, the very first, and the Celestial being we meet, which isn't apparently the only one.
Yeah.
Right? There's many gods.
Lot of Celestials out there.
The one we're working with that looks over our team of Eternals on Earth is called, his name is
Erisham.
Erisham. Way to go, Scotty.
Thank you.
This is the guy. This is the guy that made it all happen. He's the guy that sent the team there to Earth, 7,000 years ago, something like that. It's their first mission, and their whole thing is, think of it like this. You've heard these theories before, right? Aliens visiting Earth, but being in the shadows, that's Eternals. They hide in plain sight. They wait for, they're waiting for, basically for life to blossom on their planet.
Right.
They're there to preserve life, and once that happens, they're allowed to go back to their home planet of Olympia, which is where they're from. Right? With me so
Correct.
far,
Yeah.
everyone?
That is
You got
correct.
it.
With me so far, class?
Yes, sir.
And the movie does a really good job breaking this open. You know, if you get this opening sequence that kind of tells you about it, I don't necessarily know if you needed it, to be honest, because it happens a lot naturally in the story, and you get it through just what we heard. About 40% of the movie is taking place in flashbacks, following the Eternals throughout their journeys across different points in history. Do you guys remember some of these?
I think the first one is like Mesopotamia.
Yep.
Like what they would call the cradle of civilization.
Yes.
You know.
And they're showing them like with some of the first people.
Yeah.
And the Eternals are telling the first people stories of old to give them inspiration to say like your people will do great things and
Mhm.
invent, and they're giving them the stories for them to carry on
Right.
and do big things. Babylon,
Babylon was the next one. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
Uh-huh.
yes. and you're seeing like the inner turmoil that the Eternals face, because what you find out is they're essentially a lot like humans.
Yeah.
When we get down to it.
Yeah.
Eternals are these beings that can live forever, but they have feelings and they have thoughts, and they change their perspective like based on what they experience.
Yeah.
And so they're always struggling with, I want to help. Some of them are like, we got to help. Some of them are like, we shouldn't help. We can't
Right.
intervene in this war. And it's this big controversy throughout the entire film. And it's all coming from Salma Hayek's character. She's the leader of this group, and her name is Ajak.
Ajak. Yeah.
Is this right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's it.
She's got this team of folks under us. We got Rob Stark. Who's Rob Stark's his actor name? I always call him Rob Stark, but he's playing Icarus.
Richard Madden.
Richard Madden. Rob Madden? Oh
Richard.
my God. Yeah.
Richard Madden.
Rob Stark.
Richard Madden.
You're
Oh,
right.
wow.
You're right. I got the Rob Stark in there.
Yeah.
Playing Icarus. He's basically essentially the Superman-esque character, heat vision, flight, the toughest, and he's kind of like the number 2. And we meet Circe.
Yeah. Really, like, I think the main character
yes, if you
of the movie.
Yeah, if you're following an arc and a story throughout the whole point, who do you get the most time with?
Yeah.
It's Circe, and I'm not sure of this actor's name either.
Gemma Chan.
Gemma Chan.
Good job, guys. This is why we got you here. This is awesome. Way to go. Yeah, and her power is pretty cool. She can basically change the material of anything she touches into any other material.
Right. Transmutation, I think is what they call that.
Yes, and people make fun of her a little bit, and it's just a different type of power. It's like people could argue it's kind of boring, and then you find out she's got some pretty cool things about it. But these two actually have a little bit of a history, Icarus and Circe. Until we find out they broke up after 5,000 years. Why? He just left. And it's like, oh, what happened here? Interesting. A breakup of eternal beings. And who's she dating instead? Mr. Dane.
Dane Whitman.
Dane Whitman, played by Kit Harington. You might know him as Jon Snow. And he's definitely like the other boyfriend in this movie, which I loved. I loved how they introduced this character, because we'll talk about where he ends up kind of toward the end of the film.
Yeah.
Mixed in there, too, you meet Sprite. You might know this actor's name.
Leah McHugh.
Leah McHugh. Sprite is the version Eternal that is a young kid.
Yeah.
Even though she's thousands of years old, she's a little kid. Like, what do you think, like 15?
Yeah.
14? And forever. Forever young.
Yeah. Not happy about it.
Not happy about it. Angelina Jolie, she's in here. Athena. Goddess of war.
Yep.
You've heard the stories of this. Like, she's all over the place. Just the most badass. Got a cool golden sword that shows up out of nowhere.
So dope.
So dope. Nothing like what the preconceived notions of what I thought Angelina Jolie would be doing in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Very action heavy on her part.
Yep. Like the most badass fighter in the flick.
Yeah.
Essentially. And she's dating maybe one of my favorite Eternals, Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Played by
Brian Tyree Henry.
And this guy gets basically Doctor Strange looking magic around his arms, and he can punch like as hard as the Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty badass.
We have Kingo,
Kumail Nanjiani.
badass that shoots lasers out of his fingers.
Yeah.
He can build up like energy balls, kind of like Goku.
Yep. Yeah, little finger guns.
Who's the speedster? Who's the runner?
Oh, that is Lauren Ridloff, Makari.
Fast chick, awesome.
Yeah, really great speedster animation.
Oh my gosh,
CGI. Yeah.
Yes, running all over the place, looking like, yep, that looks good.
Yeah,
and she's deaf.
She's deaf. Full sign language.
Yeah. An actual deaf actress.
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't know that.
I saw her getting interviewed by Brandon Davis the other day, and she was being translated.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sign language. Pretty cool.
Wow. I have to watch that interview.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Way to go, Phase Zero. And who else are we missing?
Druig. Mind control powers.
He can control minds. Essentially a really of just humans.
Yeah.
It seems like. All right, guys. I think that's the team.
Do we do Festus?
Nope.
Brian Tyree Henry.
And what's
Festos?
And what's Festos do?
I guess he's just like a super genius.
Oh
inventor.
He's the mind.
Yes.
He's the builder. He helps with helping the humans create new technology.
Advancements in technology, yeah.
He's also like kind of the doctor it seems like. He's
Yeah.
like the guy on hand to help with like, their problems. And let's just get into it, man. This team is a team from the moment this movie starts.
Yeah.
On the planet fighting deviants. It's almost like, what's cool? I watched Avengers yesterday. And the whole point of Avengers is kind of like the hero of the ego of trying to get these people to work together,
Right.
and like how long it takes. And then, I mean, God, there's a movie called Civil War. This is out of the gate. Imagine the most well-executed superhero team with the CGI to back it up. That's what you have.
Yep.
And it looked awesome.
Well-oiled machine.
Beautiful. The Deviants, I think they looked amazing.
Yeah, I thought they looked great.
They just look like big, slimy, scary creatures.
Yeah.
And what do we learn? They killed all the Deviants about 5,000 years ago. Well, now they're back.
Yep.
And this is what eventually, so the Eternals decided in Babylon to go separate ways. They decided they've been together long enough. They've protected Earth. They killed all the Deviants. Let's go back and do our own lives, and we'll meet back up whenever it's time to go back to Olympia. Deviants come back. Why? It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
but
out of nowhere.
But they have new powers. Looks like they can actually kill Eternals by like stabbing them a lot, and they can suck their powers.
Yeah.
They can actually take this Eternals' power from them and have it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a game changer.
Yeah,
Game
I
changer.
think the first one that we saw fought a few members of the team and healed itself, which was Ajax power.
You didn't even say what Ajax power was.
Selma Hayek.
It's a healing power.
Yeah.
She's also the leader, but where you learn this Deviant can heal. And the first move is, okay, all the Eternals are separated. Let's get the team back together. Turns out Ajax is dead. We don't know why. And the Eternals are struggling with this piece of like trying to solve their friend's murder, killing the Deviants that are out there, and then finally come up with a plan to, before they come up with their plan, they find out this is where it gets messy.
Yeah.
This is where it gets messy. Because the big thing we find out, what's the god's name? What's the celestial? Ereshkigal. So essentially the Eternals can have communication with Ereshkigal.
Yeah.
Like they have Ajax, who has this little silver ball inside of her that whenever she activates it, she transports to Ereshkigal, who is, I mean, how do you say how big this thing is?
Yeah.
As tall as the sun?
We're talking Galactus-sized.
Yes.
Guy.
That's
planet-eating giant being.
Just its eyeball is like the size of Earth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go back to Guardians of the Galaxy, nowhere was the head of a dead Celestial.
Yes. And even Ego in Guardians 2, I mean, he got himself as big as that planet.
Yeah.
Which now looks small compared to this thing.
Right.
Yep.
And as they're going back and forth, Ajax, Salma Hayek, she's going back and forth, and essentially he's saying it's getting close to the time. We've got to follow the plan. Well, bad news bears. Eternals come back to Ajax. She's been killed. And when they find her body, Circe, the material touching girl, she's with her body, Ajax's body, and the little silver ball comes out, goes in her. She's the new leader of Eternals.
Yep.
So she now goes to see Ereshkigal, and he tells her, it's time for you to find out the truth.
Yep.
And
bad
this is
news.
You got some. I got some bad news.
Got some sour news for you, kid.
He's like, first up, there's no Olympia.
Remember that opening reel? It was a lie.
We lied.
Remember what you read 30 minutes ago?
No, we didn't remember.
Forget it. Yeah, right. Not only is your home planet not real, Earth was by far not your first mission.
No.
This is something you've been here for 7,000 years. You're about 2 million years old.
Right.
Or whatever. Maybe 100. Like, how many times have you done this?
Yeah.
And what is it that we're doing? If we're not here to save the human race, why are we here? Why are we fighting the deviants? Well, I got some more bad news. I made the deviants.
Yeah.
You made the deviants, Ereshkigal. What? Why? Because turns out for a celestial god to be born, you ready for this? For a celestial god to be born, you have to find a planet with intelligent life. And that was specific. You can't just
very specific.
Can't be dogs. Got to be people.
Yeah.
if it's a planet of whales,
not gonna work.
no, it got to be two-legged whatever. I don't know how you
Bipedal.
how do you distinguish what's intelligent? I don't know, like
Right.
organized, I guess. And
Dolphins are pretty smart.
exactly. I bet they would take a planet of dolphins.
Yeah.
And for this celestial being to exist, they basically plant a seed, just like ego, essentially. So it's almost kind of, it's almost like they planted that seed so long ago. And you plant this in a planet with intelligent life, and the way that it grows to be a full god is you have to have the max amount of population of intelligent life that you can. And this is the ultimate goal for celestial beings. Make a planet, get a lot of people on it, then you'll be born like Harisham, another giant galactic-sized guy, and then you can go on to make a whole nother galaxy if you want.
Make suns.
They have the power to make suns.
Yeah, and create life on other planets.
Yes.
That's power.
That's power. But the bad news about it is whenever the celestial god is born from the planet where it was planted, it explodes the planet.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody that was on that one dies.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah, it's like a giant alien chest buster.
It's almost like Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me feel that like this movie made me feel so small.
That's what Carrie said. Yeah. Carrie was like, it's like this is, I mean, let's not mess around here. We are talking about creation.
Yep.
We are talking about Greek mythology. We're exploring theories about aliens visiting us in the past and Stonehenge and the pyramids and how they intervene and how they don't. And this is the story that they're telling in Eternals. There is no doubt.
Galactic story.
Yes, which hopefully soon we get this guy.
I
I feel like we're close. So Circe finds out this terrible truth. Oh, well, and even like to get more convoluted, why did he make deviants? Well, he made deviants because on certain planets there was wildlife that would like kill the intelligent life.
Apex predators.
Apex predators, for example, dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
And certain animals like dinosaurs that threatened intelligent life. Deviants were there to kill them. Well, then this guy says, Harisham, he says, and then the deviants became predators themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They evolved, and I couldn't control them anymore. So that's when I made Eternals.
Yeah.
And what makes you guys tick is that you have a belief system in you based on your tradition and what you're taught. And we also wipe your memory every time you do this.
Yeah. Which is a throw to Thena.
Yep.
Who is suffering from what appears to be being memory wiped too many times.
And what do they call it in the movie?
Mad Weary?
They called it Mad
Weary.
Mad Weary because she's sick. She like blacks out. She tries to kill the other Eternals kind of early in the movie.
Yeah.
And they say it's because all of your memories are collapsing on themselves. But the truth was because she had her memory wiped so many times.
Right.
And didn't Ajax can wipe memories at any time, correct? Is that what?
If he wants to, and he's got you in proximity, essentially.
No, or
Harisham, yeah.
No, I thought okay, got it.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
I think maybe
I thought it was
well.
Yeah, maybe Ajax, or she could like facilitate it. Maybe.
I guess it's some sort of healing.
Yeah,
properties.
I guess I wasn't sure if it was her or her connection to Harisham. So
I thought it was just Harisham that like just does it each time. But like it seems like maybe though the Ajax knew.
Oh, she knew the whole time
because she had been doing it the whole time.
Yeah.
And here's the big thing about Ajax, right? So it turns out she knows this is the plan. She's done this many times. She has seen many planets die and many Celestials born. But she said that after the events of Avengers Endgame, I mean, it's not what she said, because it wasn't a movie to her. It was
snap.
It was just real life to her. After the snap, she said, you know what? Half of the universe died. This place brought it back.
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
The snap delayed basically the birth of the Celestial as well.
Oh yeah, it could have happened at any time.
Exactly. It was on the brink, right, of going down. So and then the snap like cut half the life, and it was like, oh, I can't do it yet.
To think about that, if Tony Stark doesn't save, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Endgame.
Yeah, spoiler alert for the MCU.
Just to be sure. I mean, if he wouldn't have done that, the Earth would have just exploded like a week later, possibly.
Yeah.
What a wild thought.
Exactly. Like people didn't even realize like this is happening in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she decides, I'm not going to do this. And she decides to confide in her number 2, Icarus.
Yep.
Robb Stark. And this guy is he's the devout believer.
Yep, he's a true believer.
And he's like,
It's the mission.
even though he only learned it from Ajax, he's like, well, you changed your mind. The mission is to get this planet populated, let this celestial being come out. And what's he do immediately? He kills her.
Kills her.
Really cold.
Yeah.
Like, throws her down to deviance, watches her die, flies down. I mean, man, can we just talk about his powers for a minute?
Fantastic powers.
Did they just nail it?
Yeah.
One of the best parts of the
perfectly
movie.
cast. I think
he
played it so well.
He is in. He is so committed. And then we also get a Superman reference. They call him Clark.
Yeah.
Somebody calls him Clark.
Festos called him Clark in the driveway when he showed up to his house.
He's like, am I supposed to call you Clark now?
Yeah. Like the kid called him Superman.
Yeah, that's what it was, his son. He kills her immediately, feeds her the deviants, and basically keeps this to himself and doesn't tell the other Eternals, who are actively now, because Cersei knows the truth, right? She comes back from Hirasham, and she is like, she can't believe it. She tells everybody. And Eternals, at the end of the day, they decide to band together, and we're going to stop this thing. We're going to stop a celestial god from coming out of the earth. We're going to save these people, because they really believed in Ajax at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And how are we going to do this? Well, there's a couple different ways we can try. One, we have Druig, who can control minds. I said human minds earlier. That's not true. He's got, he basically any mind.
Any mind.
And they're worried, though. He's like, I can't control. Hersham is the size of the sun. And he's like, I'm just one eternal. Well, Festos, the builder, says, I'll build us some bracelets to wear. And these bracelets will unite our Eternals power and make one of us very powerful. And that's kind of the plan, right? Let's get Druig next to this celestial coming out of Earth. We'll put this thing to sleep. This is classic ego move. This is classic what they did to Thanos. This is the go-to move when it comes to gods. Put them to sleep.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like, if you have any kind of moral conscience, you don't want to kill, like, put this thing to sleep. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's falling apart. Druig looks like he's down for the count for a while in the big fight. This is an epic fight scene in the end where Icarus finally shows his true colors. Like the Eternals are getting close with their plan, right?
Oh, yeah.
They've made the rings. They're coming together, and Icarus comes out and he goes straight Homelander. And I'll kill you. And he essentially does a bit about kill Druig.
Yeah.
Festos gets him locked down with those other things that he made,
bands or whatever, man.
I guess he saw
so
it coming.
Good.
I guess he saw it coming. I don't know. Like, was that what we were supposed to believe?
What do you mean?
Well, he had broken off a little bit before that.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know, if he
he made him pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? He's like up in the thing, and he also said, I've been wanting to put you in your place for a long time, because he's always had like an ego thing against him. So he locks down Icarus, and while he's doing this, Cersei realizes it's got to be me.
Yeah.
I need to be the one to do this. We don't know exactly how or what she's going to do, but she starts getting closer and closer. This is it, man. This is the final countdown. The celestial being is coming out. All the while, I've skipped kind of a bigger part of the movie. We mentioned that the deviants were evolving. So there's one deviant that's like really evolving. He's like the leader.
Took Ajax power,
and then he took Gilgamesh's power.
Oh my God.
And then I thought he was going to get the speedster power for a minute. That would have been messed up. And as this thing keeps sucking powers, it also grows a human face.
Yeah.
Who's the actor?
Bill Skarsgård.
From? What else?
It.
He played the clown.
Yep.
And this guy, it's his voice, essentially. But this thing has a conscience now. It can talk.
Yeah.
It can't just talk. It gets the memories of the celestial it killed, the Eternal it killed too. Uses Gilgamesh's voice to presumably trick Athena, Angelina Jolie. But then she has it. Boom, she kills it.
Yeah.
Kills it dead, right?
Yeah, man.
Like, that's just the end of that deviant.
Yeah.
That was just kind of like a side bad, right?
Yeah, the whole movie, you kind of think this is the big bad.
Yeah, like deviants are making a big comeback. They've got new powers. And it turned out that all along that was Hirasham.
Yeah.
Essentially. Like, he's the one that gave them their initial powers. All right, Eternals, they're going down. They're fighting here at the end. And a celestial god that looks just like Hirasham, just like a different version, starts erupting from like a volcano in the ocean.
Yeah, the hand coming up.
Just the tips of the fingers.
You start to see some of the face.
Just a little bit of the eyes just exploding out of the water. And Cersei gets all the way to it, gets on top of it. She puts her hands down on it. The Eternals that are wearing these gold rings
Unimind.
form
That's what they call it.
They did. They formed
Oh,
a
there you go.
unimind, and they all kind of look up, and they're feeling the power go through them. And she is able to essentially turn this celestial being into stone.
Yeah, marble, I think it was. Yeah.
It's like white marble. I thought it was ice at first.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's a good idea. Because that would be like
Easy.
a giant ice cube for global warming.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Cool it back down.
Just cool it down.
I guess we missed that scene earlier. Where did she? What was it that she turned into like a tree?
Oh,
it was
yeah,
like a trial run
deviant.
that basically
that was
led
it.
her to think,
Yeah.
oh my god, we can. Because they spent a good part of the movie like trying to figure out what the hell they were gonna do.
How to destroy him.
Yes. Like I told you guys this when we started, right? Like the story itself, it goes pretty quick.
Yeah. Mhm.
But there's a lot of unpacking of like, well, what are the powers? How's this all going to play into the big fight scene?
Because I guess right at first she thought it was only like non-living, non-sentient beings that she could transmutate, but
Yes.
little did she know she's stronger than she thought.
Well, and here's the big thing. All the while, again, Cersei and Icarus dated for 5,000 years and were presumably very in love. They got married.
Yeah.
And you never really answered the question of why they broke up. And then Icarus breaks out of Phaestos' trap that has him held down. And this is while Cersei's got the marble transformation happening. He comes over, he interrupts her, and he gets his heat vision going. Like, I'm gonna kill you. And he can't
do it.
He loves her.
Yep.
And he he comes crashing down. He's like, I can't believe that I was about to do this. And then even he decides, I'll get in on this brain connection thing. The Unimind.
Yeah.
So they all give her powers. This whole thing turns into stone. This big white god that was going to come out and destroy the earth is totally frozen and just stuck in the ocean now. The Eternals kind of come back from this. They all reevaluate. Icarus, disgusted with himself and just done with the whole game. I mean, he does exactly what Icarus is known for.
Flies into the sun.
Flies his ass right into the sun and presumably dies.
Yeah.
Does he, though?
Probably not.
I hope not, because what a character.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. He's basically just a robot.
Right.
And they have all the memories that are stored in that database.
Yes.
That Airsham has. So he could be back in a second.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Like figure it out, right?
Right.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
And didn't he at some point say the reason I left you 5,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago was because I found out the truth.
Yeah.
And I knew I couldn't keep it from you.
Yeah.
So I decided to leave.
So that was it.
Yeah.
Pretty good. What happens to the rest of the Eternals? Well, Sprite, finally fed up with being a kid, apparently with the power that Cersei had from the Unimind, turns her human.
Yeah.
So she's like a human kid now that'll grow up in a regular way now.
Still has powers, I assume.
I would assume no. I thought she said you're human now.
Yeah.
Well, if we fast forward,
Oh, right.
she was taken.
Well, yeah, let's wait. We'll
Right.
get there. Oh, yeah, you're right, because she was she?
Yeah.
She was too?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
I'm
I
pretty
think
positive.
I think so.
All right, we'll rehash it and make sure we're right. So yeah, Phaestos goes back to his son, to his husband. Cersei's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna try to date Dane
Whitman.
Whitman.
Jon Snow.
That's right. I'm gonna date him, and I'm gonna try to just be a little more human and try to be more present and live my life. And the whole world is like, what's in this ocean now? What's going on? And then the same day, while Cersei and Dane are talking at the inn, Hirasham shows up, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wild looking.
The music, and we get the point of view from the people on Earth. Just look, this thing is just up in the sky.
Yeah, like these 6 burning like holes, just like
back like he's probably like realistically like behind the moon,
right,
and still is so massive,
so visible,
and immediately pulls the Eternals up to him. Okay, so hold on.
The ones that are left.
There are 2 groups, right?
Yeah.
One group left on the ship. We had the Speedster,
Makari,
Fina,
and
and Druig. And they're
Yep.
like, we're going to take the ship and we're going to go tell the rest of Eternals about this.
Yeah.
Like,
They got to know.
let freedom ring.
Yep.
All right, so they're gone. Well, then Hiroshima comes back. The ones that are left, Circe,
Bastos, Sprite,
Kingo,
did
right?
and Kingo.
Well, hold on now. This is where we need to make sure, because I thought there were only 3.
Okay, so
And I thought it was Kingo, Circe, and Phastos.
Icarus died.
Yep.
Ajax died.
But what I'm saying though is Sprite didn't get pulled up though.
I thought they pulled 4 up.
Okay, so that's where
I can't remember.
3 left.
I can't
and
break the
4
tie.
got pulled up.
I'm
and-
not confident
and
either way.
3 died.
See, I thought they just pulled up 3 and Sprite kind of got left alone because it wasn't but like you'd think so, because the whole point was he pulls him up and he says,
Right.
all right, guys, I'm going to let this planet live because for now, but we're going to look at your memories and do a replay, and I'm going to see if all this makes sense to me, and if not, you're not going to pass judgment.
Is this planet worth killing a celestial and saving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And this is where me and Carrie were also making sure we were on the same page. So then Hiroshima vanishes, takes them with him. Like they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't put them back.
Right.
Like they're gone now.
Yeah.
Dane sees all this and is like, what in the world?
See you later.
See ya.
Was getting ready to tell Circe
He goes
something.
You know what he said? He goes, so, you're a sorcerer type thing? Well, my family history is a little complicated.
Right.
And then that's left for another day.
Right.
Is that Eternals before the end credit scenes?
Yeah.
That's literally how it ends. Yeah, with him. I think
We give
him
it up.
looking confused as hell on Earth.
That's it.
He's been through quite a time during this movie.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just kind of
Oh,
on the
yeah.
sideline watching his lady. But yeah, the world is reeling. They got an alien in the ocean, and then on the same day, one shows up, and everybody sees it. It's not like no one knows.
Yeah.
This is very front of mind.
It
This is
looks so
how the
cool.
movie ends. Is the
probably not a surprise to anyone at this point.
So
yeah.
With the past events.
Exactly. This
Like,
becomes
it's
so and so
just-
normal that it's like, wow, we're just in the middle of this chaos now.
Well, it's Thursday. There's giant alien staring at our planet.
I wonder if this guy will snap us away or just break our planet in half. All right, should we talk about in credit scenes?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yes, please.
First one is back to the ship. The other Eternals that left, where'd they go? They're out looking for Eternals, and they also make a note that we haven't heard from
Yeah.
the rest of the
It's
gang.
been weeks.
It's been weeks now.
We haven't heard from them. We should probably go back.
Is that what it was?
They were like, I think we should go back and see what the hell's going on.
See what's up.
Yeah.
Let's find out what happened. And while they're all talking amongst themselves, is the first end credit scene. A portal opens up on their ship and comes through a short
Pip the troll.
Pip
Yeah.
the troll.
Pip the troll.
The CGI was a little wonky on his face, I thought, but
He was a little cartoony.
a little cartoony. But Pip, what?
Pip the troll.
Do you know this character?
Yeah, I have seen him before in the comic book.
I think he's pretty big in that one right there that you're reading.
In the Infinity Gauntlet?
Yeah, he
I
might
believe
show
so.
up there. Yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait. Well, he shows up and makes an introduction, a long-winded extra introduction. I remember everything he says.
Yeah, it's very Game of Thrones, Khaleesi. Let me give you 10 titles
Yes, very
before
much.
you come out.
He's got a drink in his hand.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt's
Yep.
voice. That's right. And in walks
Eros.
Eros,
Yeah.
played by
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles, and he says it from the get-go. Harry Styles, Eros,
Eros.
brother of Thanos.
That's right. Star Fox.
Star Fox.
That is a cool name.
Yeah.
Looks nothing like Thanos.
Right.
Just a human-looking guy, but here he is, and he says, "Hello, fellow Eternals."
Yes.
Why is he there? And he pulls out one of those balls,
Yeah.
one of those light balls that Ajax used to talk to Hiroshima,
Yeah.
and he has one, and he goes, "Your lives are about to change forever."
Look at my ball.
Yep. Check out my Uniball.
Look at my shiny ball.
And my tiny friend.
and my little tiny friend who's a drunk, and these two are just now it's them with the Eternals. And what in the world is this gonna bring? What were you thinking when you saw these characters?
I was like, man, they're really reaching deep to get this.
This is the Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Now.
They're going elbow deep in the bag
Everybody
to pull out this
Supposedly,
character.
this was the director's request. For this scene to be. I guess that's pretty obvious because the director is the one directing the movie.
Yeah,
but...
they probably got a few requests,
Right?
But I know what you mean.
But,
I know what you mean. Like special, like this has to happen.
Yeah, and she handpicked Harry Styles for that role as well. So that's pretty
Looks
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look to the part.
Yeah, looks great. Like, I mean, I don't know anything about the characters, so for me, I'm just sitting here going, like, Thanos' brother?
Yeah,
What?
I think he's just a playboy.
Yeah, he looked very cocky, arrogant, like didn't have a care in the world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they keep in line with what his powers are in the comic book,
What are they?
it's he basically has the power of suggestion.
Oh.
And he is quite the ladies' man to the point where they had to retcon it when it got a little creepy.
It got bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in like today's climate. You better
Right.
be careful.
Oh,
right.
Tread lightly with this character.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, that's gonna be cool. Very
Yeah.
Guardians-esque type cliffhanger. I mean, talk about this movie. The second end credit scene. Back to Dane.
Back to Dane.
And Cersei's missing, and he is visibly, I've got to make a hard decision right now, something I have not wanted to do, but I'm going to do it. And what is this thing? It's opening this case with a sword.
Yeah.
That's whispering, dark magic-y type.
It's got like weird,
Like venom-looking goo on it.
Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
And it's like,
Yeah.
and it's like this misty goo that's like drawn to him. It's like going like, come here. And as he reaches for it, a voice from the back of the room goes, "You sure you're ready for that, Dane?" Whatever,
Are you
Mr.
Are you sure you want to do that, Mr. Whitman?
Boom, darkness.
Yep. Over. And he was very torn. Death is my reward.
Yeah,
That's
you go.
what was on the
And yes,
inscribed into the box.
death is my reward. And he says, I can do this or something.
Yeah.
He's like, I can do this. But that voice stops him. Anybody just want to say who we think this voice is?
Well, I think it's been
Confirmed?
been confirmed.
We'll just say it. We think it might be Blade.
Blade. Marshala Ali.
I mean, I don't want to even give it up because it's like we don't know.
Right.
And it's very much, we hear confirmed. What's confirmed?
Right.
I mean, confirmed for me is when the face is on the screen.
Absolutely.
But this could be Blade now meeting up with potentially right here the future Black Knight, the Black Knight.
The Black Knight.
That's what we're teasing out here right now,
Ebony
right?
Blade.
What in the
Say blade on blade
Yeah.
makes too much sense.
Blade on
Duh,
Blade,
guys.
dark characters.
Should have seen this coming the whole time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I was watching this and I was like, what is happening? I was like, this is crazy.
Patton Oswalt's going to voice a troll, and Blade's going to premiere. And
Harry
the end credit
Styles
scene.
shows up and the crowd goes wild.
If we would have called some of this stuff, hey, one day.
Yeah.
Black Knight, what are his powers?
The Ebony Blade gives him his powers. Basically, long-lasting life. So I think that ties into the death is my reward, because I don't think it's long-lasting life by choice.
Mm-hmm.
This is some sort of sentient blade.
It's like you maybe go away.
I think it traps the souls
Right.
in there.
Well, it takes control of your mind.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like something like takes over.
And you said, it's got a Venom-like look.
Yeah.
In the comic books, I do believe it has a tie to Venom.
It's like somewhat symbiote related.
I think it was forged on the symbiote home planet.
This is getting
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy. I think Venom's coming around. I don't know though.
Yeah.
that could mean everything or it can mean nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who knows what threads they pick at in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, let's just say this. Look at the 2 end credit scenes and the characters that maybe were teased out to. Four new characters in 2 credit scenes.
Right.
Like the foot's on the gas.
Yeah.
Every movie so far, it's not like a soft ending where it's like, we'll see what happens. Like, that's the first 3 phases.
Yeah, this is phase 4.
This is phase 4. This is like, we're already in motion.
Yeah. We're on the highway in 4th gear.
Yeah.
And we've got our foot on the gas pedal, and we're not slowing down.
Oh, man, I'll give it up for that. All right, Andy, what'd you think of this movie?
Man,
And what we missed? Tell us whatever you're thinking.
I think Kingo was one of the favorite parts.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah, Kumail Nanjiani.
Killed
Stole
it.
every scene he was in. Every scene.
He's basically a Bollywood actor that's just filming a movie about Eternals as an Eternal, and he's playing Icarus.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Just the simple concept of that. And the MVP of the whole movie was his sidekick. What was his name again?
Oh,
I don't remember. Yeah,
Oh
he
my
had
God.
he had his valet,
yeah.
right? And he's
Been
like
with him for 50 years.
50
I think he
years
said.
he's been with him.
Yeah. Karoon.
So funny. Yes, he was hilarious.
Yeah,
Like
he's a Bollywood actor. He's been
just
doing it for
100 years.
100 years.
Yeah.
Playing his grandpa, and then his grandpa's grandpa, and then his grandpa's grandpa.
hilarious. He's so funny, and his
Yeah.
powers were awesome too. Those finger guns. I was like,
Pretty good.
so simple but so awesome looking, and yeah, he was hilarious. I hope we get a scene with him and Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley.
From
A
He's-
Silicon Valley callback.
Yes,
Nice.
He's
he's Peter Parker's teacher.
yeah.
And it's also a little Easter egg there. That guy's been in the MCU technically since the Invincible Hulk, where he
Right.
was an intern, like
Yeah.
in Bruce Banner's lab.
Oh yeah, you're right. We referenced that.
We did. We've dug that up. That was like a deep cut.
Yes.
But I would love to see the Guilfoyle, and I forget what his name is. Silicon Valley.
I don't remember. It was- man, that was a great show.
Great show. Oh, unbelievable. Love it. Yeah, I think you're right. Still a lot of scenes.
But yeah, honestly, overall, like the movie was just beautiful. Even the big black Dorito that they were flying around in all the time.
Oh my God, looked pretty good.
It looked awesome. And like even in the scene when it was like destroyed, I was like, wow. It just I think this movie is really just introducing us to like the massiveness of what's going on in the galaxies and the universe. Like it's not just, there's more than just like what we're seeing on these screens. It's like there's a lot at play, and like there's a lot of places that the MCU could go from here.
Yes, that was absolutely one of my favorite aspects of this film was the nonchalantness of what a word, of just leaving and going to and from Earth. Like it's like in a blink of an eye, these beings that can kind of travel this way. And it, like, even Icarus when he's flying into the sun, them showing it like from like the leaving the atmosphere. Like you don't really get a lot of this in MCU films. Totally love it. There's just tons of grandeur. Totally. Scotty Scoop, what about you?
I liked the movie. I think it had a lot of heavy lifting to do. You know, you're talking about an origin story, a team movie, a lot of characters, a lot of moving parts. I think it did well to kind of stay in the middle of the road, not going too far, not going too shallow. I enjoyed it.
Pretty
It was
fun.
good. It was a good time. I can't wait to watch it again because I really think it needs another watch or two to really try and pick some of those things out
Yeah.
that you might have missed.
And in addition to everything you're listening, there's also just the vast history. Like this is literally millennia that they're trying to like they're bringing this in, kind of like, you know, I mean, this is the first time you're hearing any of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've gotten some teases of Celestials and pieces like that, but you know, outside of that, like just the concept itself. I mean, I said this during my fresh take, but we left that theater and I mean, it was quiet
Yeah.
because I think that like it's just like a lot to process.
Well, and they really made this movie stand on its own.
Yes.
No characters that you know.
No.
No one from any other films. It was just them.
Yes. And we talk about changing up the formula. You know, what they do different here that you're seeing and not other MCU films. I mean, first of all, just the tone itself is, I mean, you got Chloe Zhao directing this thing, is dark.
Mm-hmm.
And not, I mean, I just want to get past it real quick. For me, it worked.
Yeah.
Like for me, this felt like that eeriness before a storm. Like it just had that like something's on the horizon and like you can hear a needle drop and we're all just kind of watching to see what's happening. And this is an introduction story, but it's also like this foreshadowing of the things at play now. And it's about to go off the rails. So like hold on to your butts is what I felt.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we try some if you got any other favorite parts or anything, you know, we zipped through the story, things you liked about the movie, things that you didn't like, things that worked. But, you know, if we're ready for it, we can do final thoughts and some ratings.
And fan mail.
Oh, we do have some fan mail. You're right. Let's do that first before we actually do the rating. And actually, for the folks out there actually that like this online, we want to tell you so far, I mean, we're only a few days in. 48% Rotten Tomatoes, 6.9 on IMDb, 53% on Metacritic. Let's let this run for a few more weeks and see where it lands, but 48%.
I think the internet is doing what the internet will do.
It's exactly
There's
right.
a lot of review bombing going on.
And it always happens.
It happens every time with some sort of controversial, outside of the box kind of film.
Yes, exactly. And the fresh take is always like, it's anything when imbeciles online see something new and scary, they just say they hate it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But we're going to decide for ourselves. Can't wait for this rating. And yes, we have a very special fan mail. We had a caller call in ahead of time, just like we wanted, telling us about what they thought of the Eternals. Scotty, I believe you know this guy.
Oh, yes. My boy Cecil. Love you, buddy.
And this guy, he lives out in New York?
Atlanta.
I knew it was east.
Yeah.
I was at least on the right side of the country. And Cecil gave us a call all the way from Atlanta, that 754 call log. And let's hear from him now on what he thought of the Eternals. Of Eternals.
Hey, folks. My name is Cecil. I'm not really a comics reader. So all of the Eternals characters were new to me. There was, I guess I'll start with the pros. I mean, it was gorgeous. The settings, the cinematography, the costume design, everything was really, really beautiful. Carroon, just a fantastic character. Loved him. Loved that he was our eyes in a way that maybe Dane wasn't, because he wasn't necessarily there. So it was good to have him there. But I feel like the goal of the movie was to try to maybe not feel so much like an MCU movie, but that's a risk when you have had a formula for so long. And I feel like they kind of missed because it was too far off of the formula. It really just, it had pacing issues. It took an hour and a half, and I know because I looked at my phone. It took an hour and a half to feel like it was really kind of going somewhere. And not that I time it by action scenes, but it really took a while to feel like something was happening. I feel like they had a lot of real estate in a movie that long, and there was way too much exposition, so they wasted some of that real estate. They really didn't need to explain themselves to us that much. There was already the Star Wars reel in the beginning. So we just needed a little bit more than that. Other than that, I think that my biggest letdown was that Icarus felt like for me, the most fully developed character, and he threw himself into the sun. Secondly, Gilgamesh's death was very predictable. Like, I kind of knew that maybe 10 minutes before he died. But other than that, it was a good movie. It's a movie that I would not mind seeing again at all, on Disney Plus or Blu-ray or something like that. But, I guess I'll give it maybe out of 5, I'll give it a 3. So, that is my impression. Love the show. Think Scott's a great addition, and, hopefully we'll see more of you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Cecil.
Beautiful. What a guy.
What a review.
Yeah.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
I love it. Fresh, off the grid. You could tell he's like, I just watched this.
Yeah.
And here's what I got.
Oh, yeah.
And just for you know, if you convert that 3 out of 5, it's a 2.4.
2.4.
On the 4-point scale.
Oh, boy.
Pretty solid. I totally agree. I agree about Icarus mainly.
Yeah.
The definitely the most developed. Like
Yeah,
the most
for
like,
sure.
oh, I know who this guy is. Oh, wow, I want to see more of him. And now he's in the sun.
Now he's gone.
Yes. I also predicted that Gilgamesh thing. I was like, he's going to be dead any minute now.
Yeah.
And it happened right away.
I knew we'd lose a lot as soon as the first one died.
This
I
is
was
a
like,
lot
this
of
actually
characters
makes sense. They're going to start
keep going.
killing these
Yeah.
off.
But still, in an origin film, you see people die and you're like, oh, man, this is so fast.
Right.
Yeah.
What if?
Hey, probably season 2, episode 1, right?
Oh, God.
what if Harrison wouldn't have lied?
Right.
Cecil, man, that was a really great fresh take. Love exactly what we're looking for. Love those hot takes. Get on the phone, 754 call log, 754-225-5564. But definitely a fair share.
Yeah.
Definitely he's so right. Changing up what you've done for, 27 plus titles and doing a different take, bringing in a new director to this type of film. It is a risk.
Yeah. A huge risk.
Yes, because Marvel doesn't do anything just as a one-off. This is, to plan something like this is going to affect a lot of other titles. Yeah. Any other thoughts from Cecil there? You guys thought about? I loved the rating, love the review. Man, give us a call again. I have to get Cecil maybe back on the show at some point. Sure. And let's go ahead and do our take on it. We got Cecil's rating. Giggler, let's start with you. Final thoughts on the film and give us that rating.
I agree with like 90% of what Cecil said. He mentioned like how it kind of got a little choppy like for the first half of the movie there. I agree. It didn't flow together well. There were so many time jumps. I wasn't like confused, but I was just like, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
But it all worked itself out, and I mean overall, it's to me it's in the middle tier of these MCU movies. Definitely not near the top, so I'd go with about a 3.1.
Nice, solid score,
Yeah,
fair share,
good score.
Scotty Scoop, what you got?
I agree with probably 99% of what Cecil said.
Cecil.
And my score isn't going to be much higher than his. I would say probably closer to a 2.7. And I think they had a lot more opportunity to build in. And I think they kind of just shoehorned some extra character. I understand why they put Dane Whitman in there, but I don't feel like he did much.
No.
He was in for the first 5 minutes of the movie. He showed up in the middle on like a phone call, trying to get a hold of his girlfriend, and then just at the very end.
That's it.
And then all of a sudden this guy is going to be a major player.
Right.
Just out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I could have used a little bit more with that. I could have used a little bit more action. There was some great action scenes at the end.
Mm-hmm. And the beginning.
And the beginning. Some of the better action scenes in the MCU, I think, especially with Makari and Icarus there at the end with the fight scene, pretty great. Yeah, I would say like 2.7.
Nice, fair share, good score. And I hear you guys for sure. Like to get the honest takes on these films, and I'll wrap us up here on Eternals. I like this movie. I had a good time. I think that I understand. We say it all the time, but origin stories in general are tough. And this is a team, and they're a package deal.
Yeah.
Like I assume in the comics, Eternals are like a thing.
As
much as the Guardians of the Galaxy are a thing, you don't just get one. You kind of gotta get them all in one swoop. So I feel like, given the time they had, still making this a 2.5 hour film, I think they did try to sprinkle a lot in there, but for me and the pace that it's moving, it felt just fine.
Yeah.
And the stakes felt real. It felt like a darker twist on the MCU. For as convoluted and expansive as the topics are in this film, I felt fine, felt grounded, and even though there were some choppiness in the middle where, you're trying to really understand, I still grasped the overall story. When Ajak and Icarus are having their conversation, like the day that he kills her, I'm there, and I'm thinking, I understand this. I see where it came from. I see where it's going. Would I love 2-3 movies before this to maybe play into this a little bit more exposition? Absolutely. But I think for this being the bust out film, beginning to end, I really had a good time. I left there with that high energy, and me and Carrie sat and talked about this for an hour and a half, like 2 hours after we got home, because it was just getting the wheels turning in my head just about where it could go, what these characters could mean, Harisham and the other Celestials, and what in the world could possibly be going on out there. And Earth, seeing it happen at the end, none of this, beat around the bush, let's just go for it, Like, we're going to give you enough for this to be a fun movie. And I gave this thing a 3.3.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I knew yours was going to be the highest.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
You came out with the most hype for sure.
Yeah.
I was pumped.
Yeah.
But I love the variety in our scores. And it's my favorite thing about what we do sometimes when it lines up like that. To get Cecil on the phone.
I can't wait to see it again.
Exactly. Can't wait to see this.
Get that score up.
Absolutely. And honestly, if anything, just excited about what it has planted the seeds for.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah. Eternals.
Come
and gone, just like that.
You think we'll see another?
I think so. I think you get Eternals. I think you absolutely get Eternals too. And,
yeah, there's way too many threads left to not do another.
And does it happen in Eternals 2, or is there other movies? This is the big Marvel question, right? Do you see it in a sequel? Do you see it somewhere else? Either way, we're going to see more.
Yeah.
We're not done.
Yeah.
Guys, nice job on the review. Hope you fans enjoyed this one. We had a lot of fun bringing you the latest MCU title, and we're not done. We're going to keep filling up the MCU library. Go check that out at mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU. Feels good to get another title in the books. 2 more to go for 2021. This is a movie that had been hyped since that Comic-Con 2 years ago, Kevin Feige on stage, when that big word was on screen, Eternals, and none of us knew. Here we are. The table is set. The ratings are out there. Let us know what you think at mostlysuperheroes.com. We'll keep bringing you MCU reviews every single week. Let's talk about what's coming up. Woo! That was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Man,
I
can't wait to see where it goes.
Yes.
And we didn't touch on what did they make for themselves?
Yeah. What
bracelets?
How
many of them were there?
10.
What do bracelets look like? Rings.
What's another word for bracelets? Rings. And you know what?
Old. They're very old.
Spoiler alert for Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, that end of it is, we don't know what this is made of. It's way older than 4,000 or 5,000 years. It's not vibranium. Did we just find out where these things were made?
I think so.
Do you think it was made by our Eternals and like put in a box somewhere?
He kind of made those, Phaistos made those pretty quick. Like maybe he had made them before and had his memory erased.
Oh my gosh.
And they came right to him like, maybe I'll make some bracelets.
I'll just
Could be.
What are these plans?
Right.
And
I feel like someone predicted this.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was, but one of us did.
Was it you?
No, I don't. Maybe.
We definitely did. I know we definitely connected. Like we're like there might be a Shang-Chi connection.
Because
did we may have specifically.
I remember
saying
one of us saying like the only thing that would make sense by the like they're just saying basically that credit scene in Shang-Chi, they basically are like these rings are hella old.
Yeah, super old.
So old and not vibranium.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like off-world.
So yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to our Shang-Chi episode and see if we called that. Speaking of the MCU and the movie Shang-Chi, Eternals, these are just some of the recent films that have happened, and we got Hawkeye, the TV show, coming up next, November 24th, same week as Thanksgiving, so we'll come in and start reviewing that, and then, Spider-Man No Way Home, December 17th.
So close.
5 weeks.
Yep.
Countdown's on. The hype is getting real. We got our one more Spider-Man movie to go, and it is The Amazing Spider-Man 2 from Sony.
Yeah, there it is.
I think we should talk about this one next week.
Yeah. So no, let's do it now.
That makes sense.
You know what? Let's just power through.
All right.
Let's just, throw it on.
So Jamie Foxx.
I'm gonna have to remember what happened 8 years ago when this came out.
Yeah, right. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna talk about it, and then we'll take our little Thanksgiving hiatus, and we'll come back, and we'll be primed and ready to talk about Hawkeye. And man, this was season 246. Doing it on Mondays, man. So much fun. Giggler, did you have a good time?
Always, baby.
Give the old squad the old sign off before we leave for the week.
I hope everyone enjoys their week as much as I'm about to.
I don't think they will.
No, not even close.
You got vacation. You're going to Nashville. Good for you, buddy.
I'm pumped. I've needed this for a long time.
Well,
so I'm gonna put it to good use.
Give some advice to someone out there that also needs that time off. What do they need to do?
Yeah, definitely disconnect sometimes. All of our lives are too busy. Like I just feel like everyone I know is like so stressed out from work. Like the past year has taken a lot out of everyone, and I feel like everyone needs to just take some days off, disconnect from your job, and that's why they give you the time off to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take very good advantage of it this week.
You're going to do it, and you're going to do it hard.
Yes.
Good for you, brother.
Smashville, here I come.
That's right, man. Scotty Scoop, man, thanks for coming in again. I can't believe that we've suckered you into being here this many weeks in a row. And
man.
Doesn't sound like you're done.
No, I'll be back.
Nice.
Great time.
Yeah.
I was super excited to get in here today and talk about something fresh.
Something new.
Man. And it just keeps coming.
Yeah, it's been nice because we talk about new stuff, obviously, on the show. But whenever you like in the breaks, we've been doing the rewatches, which is awesome.
Right.
But you're right. To get something fresh,
yeah,
and then especially in today's world where it just looks amazing,
yeah,
and when it's Marvel, and you know that you're even with the ratings across the board today,
right?
We all had a good time.
Oh yeah, great time.
And
entertainment
to break it open on the show, man. You're right.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. So we'll have you back.
Yeah.
Help us wrap up the Spider-Man rewatch next week.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And then you're welcome to come join us for Hawkeye, but I at least need you in here for the Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, yeah. I got to close it out.
Yeah, we got to. We got to bookend this thing.
Yeah.
And then 2023.
We're going to skip a whole year?
Oh, sorry. I was playing that Cars game from earlier. It's mostly superheroes. Season
2023 version. But it's just coming a year early.
Yeah, we just do it a year early.
We're going to do it a year early.
But no, we got it. It's 2022. I mean, I guess it'll just be phase 4 continued.
Yeah, here we go.
And we'll have a whole nother schedule. I gotta make a new slide.
Yeah. Thor. We got Thor. We got Morbius.
Doctor Strange.
Multiverse of Madness.
Quantumania.
Oh, Quantumania.
Guys, we're not even close to done.
And who knows what else?
Who knows what else? And I think we're all going to keep on doing it, man. Really appreciate you two for coming in here. PC Mike, special shout out to you. Carrie, shout out to you guys. The team here at Mostly Superheroes is on a roll. We're having a good time. If you can't hear it in our voices, we have electricity here in the basement. We got the new merch coming out. We got season 3 kicking off in January. We got upgrades coming to the studio. We got new content, new in-between content for you Patreon folks out there. Going to be doing a lot more of those coming up, and we just appreciate the hell out of you. We know that you have a lot of things out there to choose from, to listen to, and to watch. We talk about it every week on the show, so the fact that you keep showing up and hopefully enjoying yourself, hopefully learning something new, and hopefully we're helping you figure out this crazy walk of all the nerdy content for all us adults, for you kids out there, for you parents that are hoping to tie the gap between you and your kids. This is why we're here, man. We're here to air it out, keep having fun, keep talking about what we're watching, and keeping the variety going. And we'll do it next week at number 47. Come back to the basement here in St. Louis and join us again next week for Mostly Superheroes. And we'll see you next time. Take it easy.